I think we're live. Welcome everyone. Welcome to another Friday webinar. And today we have a special guest, Jean-Patrice No, and I will let him introduce himself.
Hi everybody, my name is Jean-Patrice. The English is not my first language, so I use my big accent, so I apologize for that. So yeah, I'm a consultant in Quebec. I work for with Agri in Quebec, so I try to help every farmers to be more efficient and try to make more money at the end of the year. So I work a lot with UNIFORM-Agri, and I think that's why I'm here to explain how I work with UNIFORM-Agri and try to analyze the data and make good decision with that.
And good advice. That sounds good. And I think you're following quite a few customers on Uniform. I think you have around right around 25 customers, right?
Yeah, I've got nearly 20 to 25, and so I think we're gonna talk about what I get from the clouds, and I get the customer there, and it's pretty nice to help them with that.
That's great. That's great. Just a couple of things off the bat. As usual, so we're recording this webinar. So if you can't attend in the entirety of the webinar, you're gonna receive an email next week with the full recording available. If you want, of course, to review some of the stuff we're going to discuss today, of course, that's a good idea to keep it handy somewhere. It's also going to be available on our website. So without any further wait, I'm just going to turn off my camera and I will share my screen right now.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so just a few things. So today we're reviewing the consultant version. As you will notice, it's very similar to the dairyman version of Uniform. The only difference that you're going to see is this icon here, the consultant dashboard. And if we click on it, as you can see, there's a list of your herds that you're following showing up right here. And so it gives you an overview of all your herds at a glance. You can also go to farm comparison here and compare all your herds among each others, and also to get an average of all the indexes that we see to the left. It's also connected with the cloud. So obviously, if you want to have access to one of your customers' uniform, we need to get consent from your customer that he wishes to share data with you. And once this is done, like there's an electronic form that we require them to sign. Once this is done, we will enable the data transfer between your customer and your consultant license of Uniform. So this all goes through the cloud. I took a screenshot here because I don't have the account set up on mine, but as you can see, it gives you a listing of all your herds that are available on a daily basis, so they're updated daily. So you can simply put a check mark next to the customer you wish to download, and then just hit import selected. So essentially what we're going to be looking at today is basically, Jean-Patrice, I'd like you to explain us what do you do when you go to one of your customers that's using Uniform? What kind of analysis do you review with them, and how do you interpret the data?
Yeah.
So the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think, Matt, first of all, I think the good thing with UNIFORM-Agri, it's when I go on the farm, I talk with the vet, I talk with the nutritionist, I talk with the AI company, and so everybody has the same data. So we have all access, and if people want, to be a consultant and have the data there, I think you can have it there. So so it's pretty great. So we get the same pregnancy rate, we get the same analysis. So that's pretty nice. But it's really open for everybody.
Yeah, it keeps everybody in the same loop. So that's
Yeah.
one of the great feature. Yep.
Yeah. And so the next thing that we get, we can start, Matt, on
So where do you want me to go? So first thing you do at a customer, just tell me where to go, and I'll just drive the mouse here.
yeah, you can grab the head on your left.
Yeah, the Cowhead.
And production, milk management.
Mm-hmm.
And,
And milk production graph.
yeah,
Okay, so we got it right
there we
here.
go. So I never go there, but I just want to explain what's the how you say that in English, the courbe de lactation.
Yeah, lactation curve.
Lactation curve. So you get the first lactation, the bottom one, after the second lactation and the third lactation. So you see an average of first lactation, production peak at 35 liter, and after the second lactation you go more at 44, 35, and the third lactation you up another 10%, so you go more at the 50, 55 kilo. So that's something great to see, but it's great to see that, but you don't know if the cow produced well in at the first quarter of their lactation, or if they drop too much. So that's come up for the next things that I really like about the UNIFORM-Agri. It's they analyze the production by lactation, so the PPS.
Yeah,
So
SPP in English, yes.
SPP.
So Cowhead.
Yeah, please, milk management again,
Mm-hmm.
and you do an
SPP
SPP and
and then
SPP report.
Yeah,
So
there we go.
the SPP report is something I really like. So you see lots of points here. So you get every cow that get a production here, and the blue thing is their PPS. So the average of that herd on the 0 to 60 days, it's a 43.7 liter, but the PPS as a peak of production is 54.8. And after that, you get that at the 60 and 120 days, and after that.
So SPP stands for standard peak production, I believe. So so basically, if I can just chime in here, we're trying to get the animal factor off of the equation here. So ultimately, what we're trying to do is, based on the milk production today of every single animal on the farm, we can project, based on the data that's been gathered since decades, we can project what's going to be the peak in lactation of that animal at maturity. So that's essentially what you're seeing here for every portion of the graph. So 0-60 days, they'll be averaging almost 55 kilos peak when they're mature. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah, and it put every cow on the same level, so at metric event, so you can compare your first or second and third lactation to the same level, and that's pretty great to see that.
Yeah.
So Matt, I think what you can show too, we can have by only the first lactation, only the second and the third, so we can start with the first lactation. And what we want is really square like that, every on the same line, so you get a 53.7, 55, 54, and 55. Wow, that's pretty exceptional. And
pretty flat.
so pretty flat. So it's mean, the first lactation is doing pretty well, and they finish at 28.7 kilos, so 55.6. So these cow must calve at 55.6 at second lactation. So you can see the second lactation. So these cow we get a 61.8. So these cow produce more than what they did at the first lactation. So I don't know if they start too fast, something like that. But after that, you see they climb. They drop after that 59, 55, and 53. So I don't know if they didn't push a bit too much, or if they get a bit fat first lactation and they give more second lactation. But that's something we saw on that line here.
So there's obviously something that's going with the management of these animals, whether they're moved around somewhere else. Nutrition is changed for these second lactation animal, but we clearly see a decline throughout the lactation.
Yeah, and that herd didn't have the milk control, but when you get milk control, every cow have a fat protein there. So if they come up in yellow, you're gonna see a cow that have ketosis or acidosis there, and you
It's
can
highlighted.
manage them. Yeah, it's highlighted there. Mostly, in the first quarter of 0 to 60 days. So you can
Good.
go on the, we finished the second lactation at 53.5. So we can go on the third lactation and see how they start. So they start at 52. So that's not bad. And they up at 56. So it's all around good. I think on the 0 to 30 days, the cows start really slowly, but after that they really jump. So it's helped there. And after that, you see it's going at 54, but they drop at 49 at the end. I asked, that hurts. What's happened on the third lactation? If the cow are in good shape or not?
Okay, so takeaway message here is this analysis should really be seen by a nutritionist or a vet. I think that's a must, especially a
And
nutritionist.
yeah, and it's pretty great for nutritionists that if you're not on the farm, but you can see the night before you go to your customer, you see that analysis there, so you can have already questioned the customer and see where is he, what's he doing.
Yeah, that gets you prepped for your next day visit.
Yeah.
What else are we looking at, JP?
Oh, I think we can go on comparaison d'élevage.
Farm comparison.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you understand what is the PPS, after that for a nutritionist or someone else, you go on economic here.
Yeah.
And you can go here on farm comparison.
There we go. So maybe I can explain the first tab here once it finished loading. So here we go. So what this does ultimately is that you have access to anonymously share your farm data among all other uniform customers. Of course, you can choose not to, but if you choose to, you gain access to all the other data. And what this does specifically is, as you can see in the farm column, this would be all your KPIs for all these the indexes you see to the left. So these are all your results for your farm. And then you also see the average, and the average being the other farms you're comparing with. Now, obviously, you don't want to compare with a 10,000 cow dairy in the U.S. So it lets you select with some filters here. As you can see, I'm right now comparing with herds in Canada, Quebec, Holstein breed that are plus or minus 10% my herd size. So that way, you're comparing apples to apples. And so JP, maybe you can show us the graph here.
Yeah, I really like that graph because it's come up 3 years before, so you see your herds there. And as if you're a nutritionist, you can see how many cows you get and heifer. But the big points that I like, and you can you don't select these one, but select the PPS. So the SPP, I mean the 0-60 days. So you get all the 0-60 days of all your cow for all the 3 years before. So that's something I really like, and you get in French, but it's bad calving here.
Yeah.
So bad calving in July 2020. So you see that the SPP really drop at that time, and it's not because nutritionists didn't. You could I know what the transition was, but you are aware that it's for sure it's going to drop. And after that, you get eat time, and you get the nutritionist modify, and sometimes it's up, and after it's change silage there. So after that, the cow drop. So it's something that you can see and you can have answer after that. So that's the 0-60 days, and we can add the other one, Matt, that's 60, 120 days, and 120 to 200, and the other one. So all the line must be all together. So if everything's being great, the 4 line must be all together.
So if I can put it maybe visually here for our audience, what JP means by having all those lines overlapping each other like very closely is if we revert back to this report here. Let me just select all lactation. You see how this trend is very flat. So what we're seeing here are the 4 tabs that you see are ultimately the 4 lines. So you want those lines as close as possible in this graph.
Yeah, so you've seen in I can say in January 2021 that the end of lactation really slow, So I may ask you what's happened there.
Yep. So it gives you a good span, 3 years on this calendar. So instead of writing major events on a paper calendar, you just write them down here under events, and then you can see what correlation those events had with any KPIs on your farm.
And he gets the about 8 times, so I'm so sure the insemination rates must be up at that time too. If you want to deselect and
take a look.
Yeah.
Insemination rate, yeah, there you go.
And after it's pretty up. So you saw when you do something and you put there, it stay there, and so sometimes we don't remember, but when it's there, you can remember after that.
Good. What else are we looking at?
I think we can go on the again for the nutritionist. I think for the urea and protein, I think you can change herds. Matt, go to the other
sorry.
farm.
Yeah. This herd doesn't have
the milk control.
So let me just pull that up.
Yeah. So another great analysis is the protein versus urea. So you can have, if the herds do milk control and they get urea there, we can see analysis about the urea if they get not enough energy or too much protein or and it's pretty nice to see that. So
okay, so where do I go? Sorry, Cowhead.
Yeah. Cowhead, and after milk management, and after that you get the milk recording analysis. Yeah. So you get your last milk control. That one was 15th of February. So you get your urea, you get your somatic cell, you get your fat protein per cow, your milk, all around, and you get your average. So that herds is 38 kilos average, and he's doing 15 in urea, so he gets lots of urea on his last milk control.
Okay.
So you can go on graphic. And on graphic, you get the milk fat protein, you get the urea there, urea versus protein. So you get your graph here. So that show you the urea and the bottom, we want 10 to 12 average, but that hers is already at 14, 15, you get 15 average. So you see where the cows stand, and that's something that's not that good for a cow because she needs to clean that. So we want the optimal on the green spot. So it's give you the place, and you can compare and you can see where the cow ends up. So Matt, you can deselect the 120 days and the other one, yeah, and keep the 0 to 120. So the first cow who you're breeding are really high at this time, and the cow are, they're just cow are pretty high. So you get quite a few cow at the right place, but most of the cow are pretty high.
So would that jeopardize your conception rate?
Yeah, it's make, and I think it's not going to be on that farm, but it's, you can have abortion or other problem like a feline problem after that if you
Okay.
stay at that level. But
Okay.
and you can go to just to explain a bit about every square that we get here. What's for a nutritionist, what's the need is, or farmer, what's the point. So you go ahead, come back on the meal forecasts and analysis reports, and you get the area analysis. So you get there in the same place that, if you are on the red spot, you need energy, you need protein. And if you're far right, it's an energy shortage. And if you are something a bit higher, it's a protein abundance of too much urea. And let's give you a real spot on every cow you get in your herds. If you want to come back on the milk recording analysis in the bottom, so you check your cow where they are, and so that herd may need a bit more energy in the ration and a bit too much protein.
Yeah, but definitely something to look for in the urea levels.
Yeah, so the nutritionist can check that and make the adjustment after that.
Good. Do you want me to go back to the previous herd?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So the next topic is in French it's a budget prévisionnel. I don't know what's in English.
Yeah, budget forecast.
Yeah, the budget forecast is pretty nice to see. You get economic and budget forecasts.
There we go.
And that, we can talk about the hidden profit too. That's a pretty nice one that we never did before, but it's a good one. So it's give you the its next production per day per cow. So if the guy's if the guy have a cut out of 10,000 liter per day. So in April 2022, with the cow that will have a baby or will be dry, he must have 11,000. And you see after that it's going to drop in July and August, and after that September is going to be pretty low at 8,000, near 8,800. So we won't do it kata in September, and that's explained by the amount of calving that's going to get in the dry cow. So Matt, if you can go again on the cow side and fertility and calving pattern. Yeah.
We'll put the graph version here, second tab to the left.
So you see which cow is going to calve. So in March, he's going to get something like 35 cow. It's going to calve, and quite a few heifers. So he's going to get 47 calving at that time. So that's for why he's going to up in milk. But after that, you see that he won't have that much cows going to calve in May, June, July, but a lot of cow to dry in June, July, because the August and September cow is going to be dry in June and July. So that's for why in September that person's going to get less milk, because okay, they're going to calve, but before he didn't have that much cow that's been calving. So that's for why it's going to be there. So
yeah, so the forecast takes into account the calving pattern, of course.
Yeah.
So
he can manage his quota, but if he's not really, he's really below his quota, he can manage to buy some cow for May or June or something like that if he wants to buy some.
Okay, so good tool to manage the quota here.
Yeah. And mostly when we have one day more, or when we are, they can change to minus 30 days to minus 15 days one day, the quota. So it's going to be something really important for the farmers.
Good.
So the next point I think we can talk, it's the fertility. So fertility, it's pretty nice for the AI industry and the vet. So you can go to fertility KPI, you get your preg rate and your insemination rate too. So that's something it's pretty nice to see. So we already changed the date on the top. So we put only 4 months. Let's give us, the last 4 months, what's happened with our cow. We get near 20% preg rate, so it's not that bad. It's pretty great, and we get 63% on insemination rate, so it's pretty good too. But we can go on conception rate, Matt, and
second tab.
Yeah, and we got every analysis here that I'm in love with. So you get your first, second, third, and fourth, like fourth insemination. So you see the guy get an average of 34.7 conception rate, so it's great. But the first insemination is really low in the end of 27, so he can do a much better job on his first one. And after that, the other one are pretty great. But we can analyze a bit more than that. We can go on the per lactation.
So maybe that this would demonstrate that he breeds a little bit too early.
Yeah, could be. We can go if you want right away about that analysis of that map. You go for search again.
Insemination analysis.
Yeah, so we can go see first insemination just to see what's the if you do something. Okay, yeah. Each gets the how do you say that the first is
So it's
first is,
basically the result of the first breeding. So you see
yeah.
the days in milk to the left, and then the calving date at the bottom. So basically, when your square is green, it means the first breeding was successful. And of course, a red square means that first breeding she wasn't pregnant out of it. So, and this is your voluntary waiting period here in blue. But we can clearly see that the first breeding happens way before that.
Yeah, so yeah, I think that farm needs to really change it's for at 30 days. It's really too early for a cow, and it seems to looks like that's the problem.
Okay, so yeah, so we can really make a connection here between that 27% conception rate on the first breeding here.
Yeah, and after that you can go for lactation. So you saw it's great to see the production per cow, and so you saw the conception rate per lactation. So you saw the first lactation is at 40%, so it's pretty nice. But it's really dropped at second lactation at 30 and the third at 28. So I may ask, okay, we saw the PPS before that's were pretty high for the second lactation, the 60 days. So it's sometime I just ask, I don't know, but it could be too much milk, so that's why the cow are not conception are lower, for these one. But it's great to have that to have that analyzed, so you can talk with the vet too about that. So you get by lactation, and after that, Matt, you can have by breeders
Yeah, so all your AI technicians basically are showing up here and their respective conception rate. So that's we can sort it by clicking on the column here, like that.
and just make sure the guy have enough breeding to analyze, because if you get only 2 breedings, and 0 and 2, you can analyze Emily, like she could be pretty great, but with only 2 breedings, then enough.
Yeah, true.
And after that, you can have by bull, and so you can analyze the bull there and see which one is the best to the other one. But we just saw that the first insemination is not that great, so if one bull is used only in first insemination, the suture rate is going to be lower than the other one. So, but the average is 34.7. So, yeah.
And then we have, I think you wanted to show estrocine.
Yeah. So you get the estrocine too, so you can talk with your vet about that one. For that hers, you see on the bottom, the activity detection system is at 40% with 181, insemination. So that's pretty nice. So it's pretty work. And after that, you get the program, the double off sync and off sync and lutalize only. So for that hers, I must ask, how it's worked, the lutalize only, because it's get only 22% consumption rate. So I think it's something you can talk with his vet about that and see how we can improve that.
Yep. So those are probably plan B after the heat detection system. Obviously, like they're getting very good results here at 40% conception rate. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, it give you you know something. Oh, it's one
That's
of
a
the
really good
30.
overview
Yeah.
of what you're doing with your customer. I really appreciate you sharing all this with us. So we're already at the end of our webinar here. I'm not sure if we have any questions. Let me just check the panel here. And if anyone has a question, you can just raise your hand and I can put you on the mic. No problem, but I don't see any questions so far. I see quite a number of people, but no hand raised. So I guess it was crystal clear, JP. So
Yeah.
again, thanks,
Hi.
thanks everyone, and thank you, JP, for sharing all this information with us.
I hope you enjoy and have a good day.
See ya. Bye bye.
Thanks.